Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give a report on the Comcast experience. It has to be the worst experience in the world for this category of customer service. Now, it's admitted their technology is fairly sophisticated, but the people that are handling the accounts, opening them and closing them and setting them up, oh my word. Now, they've been trained to be very polite and nice, which in some ways makes it even worse. It's like they're being so polite and nice the whole time they're messing your account up. I'm charging you too much money, or categorizing it the wrong way, so it takes hours and hours of explaining and waiting on hold on the telephone. That's just the telephone experience. But if you have the unique opportunity of going into one of their offices, oh boy, that's a whole nother thing. Now, I've been in some of them. I've been in Tennessee. It's not too bad. It's usually a long line, but it moves. Down here in Florida, Boynton Beach, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The wait is a minimum of 2 hours. And you go in and there's a guard there. And my experiences with these guards is totally rude and nasty. I mean, oh my goodness. Like they really like their job, you know, standing there with a scowly face and just growling at people. But there's a little machine, you take your number, and then you have to wait till you're called. There are not sufficient chairs. And there's usually at least 30 or 40 people waiting. And that adds up to about 2 hours or more. And the chairs they do provide, they've got to be the most uncomfortable chairs they could have found anywhere. Just these there's a few of them that have the right kind of thing for the back, and they've got like cloth seats and stuff. But most of them, the other chairs, are just these plastic things that don't really give any support to the back. And you've got to be there for like 2 hours. Unless you want to risk going and doing a few errands and missing having your number being called. So there's people, all the chairs are filled, and there are people outside sitting on some very uncomfortable bench type things with no backrest at all. And there's not even enough room of those outside the front door. And so many, many people are just standing outside. I mean, when it rains, it must be really a lot of fun. There's no restrooms. If in that 2 hour period you do have to answer the call of nature, you have to, like when you're 2 years old in the classroom, you have to raise your hand and ask the guard, may I please use the restroom? And then he takes you all through the whole building in the back and stands outside the door while you do what you need to do. And then escorts you all the way back through a bunch of offices and everything out into it's this teeny tiny waiting room. There's no water fountain. There's no little snack machine. I mean, 2 hours, you know. I mean, what if, you know, somebody gets kind of hungry, they want a little something, you know, blood sugar drops or something, you know. So I had that lovely experience today. And I decided to run a few errands and then come back. So I missed my number, I had to take another number. So it was all day. And then I was returning some equipment, and I needed a receipt. I was dropping some services because it was too expensive. I was just keeping internet and cable for my father. I don't watch TV, but he does, so I'll just keep it for him. And the clerk assured me that everything was fine. Just go back to your house. I've changed everything. You've returned this other equipment, and now your service is back on. Your internet service is back on. Well, I knew it wasn't going to be, because just looking at him, I could tell he didn't know what he was doing. He was just being polite, because they had a lot of training about being polite. So, of course, when I got back, it wasn't on. So then it was another 2 or 3 hours on the phone. They had to go through billing, and then they had to transfer me to the tech. And I was using up all the minutes on my cell phone. So, if anybody from Comcast is watching this, it's horrendous. It's just horrendous. There's got to be a better way to do it, at least in that Boynton Beach office. It was horrible. Anyway, just a little feedback.